You are looking live in Waterloo, New York, the Waterloo High School Gymnasium, where we have a key early season contest just about to get underway between the visiting Newark Reds, defending champions of the Finger Lakes East, and the Waterloo Central Indians. And they have their entire starting five back. Lots to talk about. We had a great opening night in Seneca Falls this Tuesday night. And I'm Dave Barnick, and tonight, happy to have along my side somebody who knows a lot about basketball, a lot about this school, and a lot about that one just a couple of miles down the road called the Academy, Minders Academy. Kevon Korzeniewski, a pleasure, Kevon. Great to be with you tonight.
Great to be with you, Dave, again. It's great to hear your voice. It's been about 20 years. But
I was about to say, it was 20 years ago today. The Minders Academy boys continued to play on your way to that state championship.
Yeah, we had our 20th anniversary, our high school anniversary, 20th high school anniversary this summer. So that makes about sense. You graduated in '92.
You look like you can still go out on the court and fire them up.
No, I don't play much anymore, and I look a lot different than I did 20 years ago.
But the Waterloo girls have high expectations for themselves this year, and with good reason.
Absolutely, they have a returning cast that was very, very skilled last year. The girls are improved. I watched the game last week, and they're hungry. They're very, very well balanced. And they're led by a couple names you hear all the time, in Lauren Deming and Linny Johnson. But they have a sophomore, Chelsea Steinruck, and between that threesome right there is going to be tough to compete with this year. And you want to add in a lot of other good balanced players. I mean, they go 9-10 deep without blinking an eye. They bring kids off the bench that'll play tough defense, that'll knock down threes. A lot of teams are going to try and play them in zone. But what's going to happen is they got a lot of great outside shooters that are going to hurt you. So they're going to be a tough matchup for everybody in the Finger Lakes this year. And
of course, Newark and their coach Justin Flatt cannot get his ace player Bryn Lauer back soon enough. She was the Finger Lakes Fab Player of the Year 1 year ago, and unfortunately is still recovering from ACL surgery.
Yep, I just spoke with her father, Jay Lauer, who's a former Geneva basketball coach, boys. And he's excited that she'll be back soon. And we'll talk a little bit more about that after the break.
Yep. You are viewing Finger Lakes 1, and I'm Dave Barnick along with Kevon Korzeniewski, our ace cameraman, Mr. Jeremy Hunt, and of course, station owner and president and manager, one James Sinacropi. And starting lineups being introduced. They're going with 2 Lauers instead of 3 tonight.
That's right, and Kenna's just a 9th grader. And she's off to a pretty good start this year against Penyan. The other night, she had a nice balanced line, 5 assists, 5 points, I think 5 steals. So it's pretty good for a freshman to step in their first couple games and have a game like that in the league.
Kevin, I had a chance to chat with their head coach, very friendly, Justin Flad. He wishes his team, he could give them a little bit of his size. They're not an awfully big team, but he said they're a team that has to contest every possession, really play get in your face defense all the way up and down the court. And although they've been struggling somewhat offensively without, as you would expect, Bryn Lauer, as we mentioned, last year's player of the game, player of the year in the Finger Lakes, that they're hanging in there, and they are 2-0 after all. Waterloo off to a great start so far with 3 victories, including opening tip-off tournament championship.
They won their own tournament, and they start off with South Seneca Romulus, and they handled them pretty easy. And then they played Pittsford Sutherland in the finals. There's Chelsea Steinruck. She's a sophomore starting guard for Waterloo.
And of course, you hear that background music, a la the Michael Jordan Day Chicago Bulls music. Great opening music.
There's Jazzy Cole. She's a junior. This is all everything Lauren Deming Jr. She's fun to watch, Dave. You're gonna have a great time watching her tonight.
Well, it's great to be here at this beautiful facility where I think on a sad note, is the last time I was here, my son ended his high school career, and
sectional game.
Never really imagined the opportunity of doing this again, but it's great to be back in the saddle once more. And Waterloo Newark, really a pivotal early season matchup between 2 of the expected contenders in the Finger Lakes East.
Yes, you got the returning league favorite and this year's league favorite. Last year Newark won the league, and Waterloo is looking to dethrone them, even with the other Lauer girl. With Bryn being out, it makes her task a little bit easier at hand tonight. And as a coach and a fan, you want to see everybody out there. And as a parent, you hate to see a kid on the sideline. So hopefully these 2 teams, when they play again, Bryn will be back. Now, I mentioned before I spoke with her father, she is rehabbing the ACL. She's doing some light work now, and if everything goes good, she'll be back in January for the Newark Reds.
Well, you hope so. And when I asked her, she did not give a definitive answer, which I thought was really showing some maturity. She said she just didn't know, and I said, I know you'll be anxious, but do what they tell you as far as coming back.
Well, her father's an intelligent guy, and he's a coach. She's a coach's son, so she'll understand what she has to go through before she comes back.
And making our task possible tonight are folks like Madej, Miris, and Ricky, Generations Bank, the Omen Theater, Finger Lakes Partners Insurance, Sessler Wrecking, and Market Alternatives LLC. And we are underway. Waterloo with it. They go backdoor play pass, and the shot is up and in by Lauren Deming. Nice pass.
Yeah, Newark starts off in a man-to-man, and Waterloo takes advantage of the tight man-to-man defense that you spoke of before, and set a back screen for Lauren Deming, and a nice backdoor cut for an easy layup.
It looks like Waterloo zoning here.
Yeah, they run a 1-3-1 zone. They'll play some man-to-man as well, and the 1-3-1 does a great job because of the length of Lauren up top and their athleticisms with Haley Wright and Chelsea Steinruck on the wings.
Haley, of course, I spoke to her before the game. Going to play some college sports with a partial scholarship.
Yeah, she's quite the athlete, and her best sport is lacrosse.
And a time shot, clock violation.
I like what Waterloo's doing with the 1-3-1. They have their best athlete, probably Jazzy Cole, running the baseline. She's a hard worker, and you really need somebody that's going to put a lot of work into that baseline spot in the 1-3-1.
So Waterloo works it here early, leading 2-0. Looking for that opening. Great opening play to get that backdoor bucket underneath on the left side. Right here, it's Steinruck driving, dishing off to Haley Wright. Against pretty tough defense by Newark. They try to go inside. It's batted away. Scramble for the ball. Thrown up and just short. And Newark will come out of the pack with it. And that is Brandy Lauer and a little bit of traveling music.
Yeah, the crowd didn't like that one, and I got to go with the crowd on that. It looked like she planted her pivot foot before. I think he anticipated that call.
So Newark inbounds, but through the hands of the Newark player, and finally picked off, as you can see, by Waterloo. Down court, nice feed, lay it up and in. The basket by Lindsey Johnson.
Assisted by Lauren Deming. She really keeps her head up when she dribbles and sees the floor well. You know, just as well, if not better than most of the boys in the league.
They go inside on the baseline to Kenna Lauer. And we got a whistle and a foul as she passed inside, and going to the line will be Lauren Allen. Still getting used to these numbers we got just before game time from the Newark coach. And Kevin, you are a teacher here in
yeah, I teach
Waterloo.
I teach in the Waterloo Middle School. I'm on my 12th year here, so I'll try not to be too biased as the Waterloo kids. I know them a lot better, obviously, than the Newark kids. But we're gonna do our best to represent Newark here.
Any truth to the rumor that beneath your black and orange shirt that you wear at the Minders games, so you have a Minders T-shirt underneath?
No Minders T-shirts underneath anything. No, it'll be harder when my kids are up there. But right now, it's all Waterloo.
1 out of 2 at the line, 4-1 your score. 2 minutes into the opening stanza here in Waterloo. Inside feed, baseline jumper, yes!
Waterloo really executing well on the offensive end against this man-to-man. They're setting a lot of good screens off the ball and on the ball and getting nice good looks at the basket.
That was Johnson again, and answering the other way is Kenna Lauer, the twin sister of Bryn Lauer. That's got to be a bit confusing for, well, twins are a whole story unto themselves. And batted away and stolen by Newark. Down 3 points, 1 possession game. Kenna Lauer with it, loops it inside, deflected, but Newark still has it. The shot is blocked. That was Schultz. And here comes Waterloo trying to run down court quickly, leaving it for the first 3. And it won't go. The shot up by Steinruck, and Newark comes away with a loose ball.
Yeah, Lauren Allen's doing a good job so far. She's got a lot of size for Newark. She's going to have to get a lot of rebounds against this tall Waterloo team.
There's a bomb from the right side off the back iron, and 1 shot and out. And walking the ball up court will be Waterloo's Lauren Deming.
Waterloo's doing a great job both in the half-court offense, and they're getting good shots in the fast break, and that's usually a sign of a good team when you can do both, score inside in the half-court set and then still push the ball and get good looks on the fast break.
Chelsea Steinruck, the sophomore, draws the foul, non-shooting affair, so Waterloo to inbound underneath their own basket. Looking, and bounce pass it in. Steinruck driving, throws it up, contact, no whistle. Newark comes the other way, 6-3. Pretty good ball handling by Brandy Lauer.
That was good transition defense by the 3 Waterloo girls. A couple of the girls were slow to get back, and the other 3 picked up the slack for the teammates.
And just short off the front of the iron, and Waterloo comes back. Passing it cross court, dangerous pass, and it's picked off. And then a reach-in foul, compounded. Well, you make one mistake with a bad pass, Kevin, you don't want to compound it with a reach-in foul, and that happened on that occasion.
Double fault, I tell my kids, double fault, you know. Just get back, you made one mistake, don't repeat it. This would be a hard game to call on the radio, Dave, if the other Lauer girl is here. Lauer from Lauer to Lauer.
Yep.
And, you know.
Sounds like a law firm. A little bit like Madej, Maris, and Ricky.
Yeah.
And lots of turnovers early. We had a scintillating game in Seneca Falls Tuesday night where 35 points were scored by Minders in the first quarter alone. 9
3-pointers. I watched the first quarter on your replay the other night. That was a great job you guys did, Jim and Dave and Verk and Jeremy. It was, geez, what a first quarter. If you could open up every game like that, I think there'd be a lot more people coaching.
Yeah. As long as you're on the right side of the ledger.
That's true. Well, Waterloo just brought their first 2 subs in. Number 3, Janae Larrabee, and number 20, Chelsea France is in.
Now, do you know how deep their coach will tend to go?
He'll go pretty deep. He'll play 9 or 10. He could go even deeper. You know, you got to get girls in a rhythm, so you can't play everybody, but they're talented and they're young.
And Steinruck is a real tenacious defender, and there's a 3-pointer from the corner for Jessica Shields. And we're tied at 6.
Yeah, Jessica Shields the other night in their opener against Minders made the game winner. They won by 2 against Minders, and she hit a game shot with less than 2 seconds left on an inbounds play. So she's off to a good start this year as well.
Bit of a run here by Newark, trailing 6-1. They've knotted it at 6 apiece. And the turnover bug has been a factor. And driving to the lane and some contact drawn, and Jessica Shields will go to the line and shoot 2.
Yeah, so Jessica trying to get aggressive on the offensive end here, and Waterloo's got to slide their feet in that zone. They're trying to reach in with their hands instead of getting their body in front of the player, and it's putting them on the line for an easy shot. Now,
a question which I think is a prerequisite on Finger Lakes 1. Are you a Syracuse Orange fan, Kevin?
Boy, you had to ask me that question sitting next to Jim.
That's right.
I have been a Duke fan since 1987. Now, if you remember correctly, Syracuse lost in the finals that year. I cried on my way home from my friend's house, and Dennis Peisnack, my 7th and 8th grade coach, then talked me into being a fan of Coach Mike Krzyzewski, and I've never looked back.
Well, I guess he and Boeheim are pretty good buddies. Newark took their first lead of the evening, 1 out of 2 at the line, and a missed Waterloo shot on an air ball, and here come the Reds. 2 minutes to go, first quarter. Down court, shot is too hard off the glass.
Waterloo doesn't have that intensity that they started with. It seems like Newark's picked it up a notch, and Waterloo's yet to match it.
And Steinruck can't get the friendly roll. That was like one of Jim Sinacropi's putts at the Seneca Falls Country Club.
Yeah, Waterloo's
rimming out.
Waterloo is, after that 6-1 lead, it seems like they are a little bit stagnant, not working as hard as they were from the get-go. We've got to figure out a way to get these girls working hard again.
7-6, Waterloo, 1:40 to go. I went to the game last night, Long Beach State and Syracuse, and
Syracuse is playing as tough as anybody in the country right now.
They threw a lot of three-point shots up, I think 40-some shots. Here comes Newark on the break, laid up too hard, rebound up and in, and Brandy Lauer, real good job of filling the lane on the weak side. And the Reds up by 3. And a travel call. Well, I don't think the coach really wants to call a timeout. There's just 1:15 left in the quarter.
But he might need something here to talk to the girls. But he's choosing not to, and he's going with a 1-3-1 again, and see if they can get a quick turnover and an easy basket.
So up 3 and with the basketball. Lauer left side, now cross court it to Kenna Lauer, the freshman. And inside feed, a little push off, didn't get called, and Waterloo out of the pack with it.
That was a great pass by Sarah Tyler to find that girl diagonally across the zone.
Inside feed, won't go. And pretty much, with the exception of that last bucket, it's been one shot and out for each team.
Yep.
And look at this, 3-point play possibility.
No, I think we got a charge.
Oh my.
Angie Davis draw the charge for Waterloo. She got herself in position. Coach from Newark doesn't like it.
Yeah,
got a replay here. She might have been moving her feet a little bit. That's the beauty of replay. Make us look great up here.
Toughest call in the game.
Yeah, and I think the coach might have something angry. But Angie did a good job trying to get in front. And that's a nice turn for Waterloo here with the 32 seconds left in the quarter.
It's early, as they say, but kind of a big play early in the game. 5-point lead, chance to go up by 6. Instead, it remains at 3, and Waterloo has the ball. They can milk. Well, they could have milked. They throw the ball away, so Newark has a chance. They leave for 3. The shot is up from long distance by Brandy Lauer, no good. Scramble for the ball, and with 6 seconds left.
Now let's see what Newark does with 6 seconds left underneath the basket. They want to get a quick shot. Waterloo comes out in a 2-3 zone to pack it in. Let's see if Newark can get a 3-point shot here.
And
we got the ball foul on Angie Davis.
They're laughing, but they're not really happy. Waterloo trailing Newark 9-6. Newark will again try to inbound it. And there's the open cutter. Easy play. Jessica Shields, the recipient of the nice quick pass.
You know, that drives you nuts as a coach, Dave. You pack it in a 2-3 zone, and then you get yourself extended and leave them for a wide open layup down the quarter. Nice play for Newark.
And Newark was trailed 6-1, reeled off 10 straight points, and we'll be back with second quarter action after this.
Attention Finger Lakes residents, have you been injured and deserve compensation? Call Madej, Maris, and Ricky, your hometown personal injury attorneys. Your case deserves personal attention. At Madej, Maris, and Ricky, they know you by name, not just a number on a folder. Call the Finger Lakes Personal Injury Hotline at 315-568-0911. That's 315-568-0911. Madej, Maris, and Ricky, your hometown personal injury attorneys.
The most valuable things are always passed down from generation to generation. It's true for your family, and it's true for our bank. For more than 140 years at Generations Bank, we've greeted you by name, planned with you for the future, and stood by you when you needed a hand. It's what we do, and what we'll continue to do for generations into the future. We might look different now, but in the important ways, we're exactly like we've always been. Stop in your local branch or go to mygenbank.com.
Tonight's webcast is brought to you in part by Finger Lakes Partners Insurance. Insurance you need from people you know for your life, home, auto, and future. Sessler Wrecking. Good luck, Waterloo Indians. Market Alternatives, responding to the constant changing need of their customers in Newark and the surrounding areas.
Second quarter action just underway, and Newark trying to extend what they had turned around a 6-1 deficit. They lead by 5, 11-6, and looking for more. Here's a three-pointer off the glass, and it won't go. And Waterloo needs a good possession here, Kevin.
Yeah, they've struggled offensively. I still think they're doing a good job of running their stuff, but they got their shoulders down a little bit, and they just need to keep attacking and get that bucket and get themselves going again.
It's been a while since they've tickled the twine. And Johnson tries to get it going, and she comes through with a nice, easy touch in the lane.
Yeah, Newark's man-to-man is doing a great job tonight with Waterloo so far, and they just got a picture of my daughter and her friends up there, Caitlin, Margot, and Maddie, and I'm babysitting tonight. That tells you what kind of father I am.
Shot from Newark from outside won't go. Quadruple duty for Special K tonight. He taught, he coached, he broadcast, and a little child care thrown in there too.
You know, just put it all on my table. I'm ready for it. And we got wholesale subs here for Waterloo. Steinruck, Cole, and Haley Wright back into the game. We got their starting 5 back in. You know, coach is probably a little concerned about the lead getting away from him. And I believe Newark still has their starting 5 in as well.
And a little trouble getting it inbounds, but they finally do. That Steinruck shows some promise. Reminds me, not, of course, like her, just the quickness a little bit of one outstanding player from yesteryear, Sandy Mitchell.
Oh, Sandy Mitchell was what a player she was. She was a year behind me in school, and she really, really did a lot of great things here at Waterloo. Along with Kara Rogers, we had, of course, Beth Ann Bradshaw and Deanna Connor and Jennifer Johnson. I'm talking about both Minders and Waterloo players. Great play and an inside feed. Beautiful pass to Haley Wright, and she is fouled. And we'll go to the line for 2. Yeah, and you got Mike Ferrara coaching over in Waterloo this year, Dave. I don't know if you knew that. He's coaching the JV boys basketball along with Jeff Panik's the varsity coach. And he hasn't coached in a long time, and he coached a lot of those girls we just spoke of, and he's getting himself back into a little coaching. Hopefully just a tad calmer than he used to be. I haven't seen him yet, but I do. He is my principal at school, and he has mellowed out a little bit. We got timeout by Newark here. Timeout. We'll talk to Kevin. Kevin, your football favorites. Who do you follow? Well, I'm a big Redskins fan, so it's been a great week, and I'm a college Syracuse fan.
for football.
For football, and I'm trying to get Jim to go down to the Pinstripe Bowl with me in a couple weeks.
I think if I'm going to spend money on a bowl game, I want it to be where it's warm. But
it's not warm in New York City.
I do have a lock for you in the NFL this week.
What's that?
Watch out for a team called the Baltimore Blast as they face the Brittany Fox.
They got off to a slow start last night, the Blast. It was a good night for Brittany Fox. We're playing in what Dave speaks of as our fantasy football league that I'm in with Jim Sinacropi and Jeremy Hunt. And Jeremy Hunt is the manager of the Baltimore Blast, who will probably lose at the hands of Brittany Fox this weekend. So Peyton Manning didn't do too great last night. He had an average game, and your running back, he didn't do very good. The backup there for Noshawn Moreno and Elvis Newerville, the goose egg. So we had a player going last night who did all right.
I'll tell you, you're rooting for the Redskins. You're rooting for the Duke Blue Devils. We'll have to ask Mr. Sinacropi if he has Verkey's phone number nearby. Couple free throws, and it's 11-9 game now. And here's the runner, tough shot, and it's short.
That's Whitney Conkey in the game off the bench. Whitney's a junior forward and trying to give Lenny Johnson a break.
2 minutes into the second quarter, 6 minutes remaining before halftime, and a nice runner just won't go. Rebound back to Chelsea, out to right wing it, and deflected from outside. The attempt by Deming. And Newark comes away with it. They are contesting everything.
They are. Their man-to-man defense is very impressive. They're up in their face, and they're playing very aggressive and wide open here. Good recovery by Whitney Conkey.
Yes, excellent.
And a silly foul. Silly foul by Courtney Schultz. I can't see the coach, but I'm sure he's not too happy about that one. You never like to give a foul 92 feet away from the basket.
Yeah, it looked like Newark had an easy layup. Conkey recovered, and then
she did a good job.
Newark came back and via the foul will surrender it back.
And this looks like a new play coach is running here for Waterloo. They get the three.
The long bomb won't go, but the layup up and in, and I think that was Haley Wright.
That was Lauren Deming on the offensive glass. She came all the way from the three-point line to get that rebound. Somebody on Newark's got to step up and box her out.
So that's 5 unanswered points to start the second quarter for Waterloo. And rims out, and here comes Waterloo looking to retake the lead.
That was a tough shot by Courtney, in and out, but she created a good shot for herself.
And again, the bomb looked pretty good when she let it go, and we got a reach-in foul after the missed shot, I believe, on Waterloo.
Yep, Steinrook's taking a couple threes. Both of them looked good. Neither one of them went down. I don't know how happy coach is with the three without running the offense, but you want to try and work it around a little bit before you take that shot. But if it goes down, everybody's happy. Still in the 1-3-1. Newark's doing a great job of not turning the ball over, and as I say that, Haley Wright comes up with a steal.
Right with the steal. Looks for the cutter, bouncing it inside. The shot is good by Lauren Deming.
And that's what I spoke of before. There's Haley Wright coming up with a great steal with her athleticism, dribbling it down and pounding it inside to their leading scorer there, Lauren Deming. This is a well-balanced team.
And here's, unless you're Shaquille O'Neal, that ball is out of bounds. Or as Bob Euchre said, that ball is gone. Major League, if you remember that, Kevin.
Yeah, I do. Bob Euchre. And Whitney Conkey checked out. She got a lot of high fives from the coaches. She did a good job filling in there for Lindsey Johnson.
So Waterloo on the perimeter. They're up by 2. And as soon as I say that, they throw it away. Turnovers have outnumbered the baskets for both teams by far.
Yeah, it's getting a little sloppy here.
Do you know who the other expected contenders might be in the Finger Lakes East?
Yeah, Geneva's off to a great start. The DeSales closed, and they get a couple young kids over from DeSales, and they're going to be a team that's going to be tough in the Finger Lakes. I think they'll contend with these two teams as well.
Deming on a give and go, lay it up and in, and a foul. So Deming was rewarded for her good work off the board, brought it up court, gave it up, and got it back.
Yeah, it's nice when you get rewarded on the other end after a good defensive play, and that just shows you the capabilities of Lauren. She can do it all out there in the court. A lot of kids sometimes they shoot well, they defend well, they pass well. Lauren's got the whole package.
And we'll try to convert the three-point play. And gets the friendly roll.
The shooter's touch, Dave.
Not exactly Dwight Howard-like.
Jeez, is he struggling?
They're talking about changing the rules for him.
That's ridiculous. I don't think they should. A foul off the ball is a foul off the ball.
And Deming brings it down court again. Steinrich returns it, give and go, same result.
The action and the intensity's picked up, and I think that favors Waterloo, and you can tell by the scoreboard Newark might look to get a timeout here quick and try to slow it back down and get his kids under control.
Well, Newark, which had come back from a 5-point deficit to go up by 5, now trails, largest deficit for either team, 18-11. Looping it, bad pass, nobody home. And stolen back.
I kind of feel bad, Dave. I talked about how good a job Newark was doing taking care of the ball, and I think since I've said that, they've turned it over 4 out of the 5 or 6 last possessions.
So Finger Lakes One, happy to have you with us and happy to have the sponsors making this and our array of basketball webcasts coming your way throughout the basketball season. Here's the bomb from outside. No, I thought that was going to roll back in.
A lot of shots are going in and out right now for both teams.
Deming, long and athletic, handles the ball well, gets it inside to her teammate Jasmine Cole. Won't go, and here comes Newark. Leave, and the Newark player had an easy shot and made it more difficult for herself.
Yes, she did. I'm real impressed with the poise by the younger Lauer girl. For a 9th grader, she's doing an absolutely good job of running the floor and not turning it over, and that's number 10, Kenna Lauer. So she's doing a good job. It's a tough game for her, with a lot on the line tonight. As
Courtney Schultz does get the basket on that try off a nice feed.
Well, there's a back kick they opened up with.
Deming lighting it up here in the second quarter in Waterloo.
Yeah, she's on fire, and Waterloo doing a good job running that backdoor cut from her. They're hitting her at the foul line, her girl, and they're putting it in there for an easy shot.
And another batted away by Jasmine. Deming down court. Leaves for Steinruck. In and out, but a foul.
Foul a jump shooter. Don't foul a jump shooter. Waterloo picking it up on the defensive end. It's leading to some easy transition shots, and their intensity seems to be back up this quarter, and led by Lauren Deming, who is just getting layup after layup after layup.
We're going to be returning to our studios when this first half ends. We got a minute and a half left on the clock, and we have a special presentation that you won't want to miss during our halftime intermission. So stay tuned for that while Waterloo leads by 7 and make it 8. Free throw by Steinruck.
Newark's only managed 2 points this quarter. The 1-3-1's really bothering them. They got to work it around and try to get better shots than they have been.
A little surprised we didn't see a timeout, actually, as they have struggled. And here's Lauer's nice runner, the floater in the lane. 21-15. Newark closes to within 6.
Yeah, Kenna Lauer, the freshman, making a big basket for Newark at a good time.
Deming cross-court pass over to teammate Angie Davis. And inside feed, no. Deming hustling for it. She's all over the court. And what did we get, a foul away?
We got a timeout.
Ball?
The coach, I think, thought she was going out of bounds, so we wanted to secure that possession with only 52 seconds left in the half. It's a full timeout. You can carry those over to the second half. You'd like to see a 30-second, but I think he used that at some point already. So let's see what they come back with on the inbounds. I'm always curious as a fan and as another coach. You get the ball underneath, out of bounds. The scouting report tells you what the other team's going to play. What are they going to run when they come back in? So let's see if Waterloo can capitalize on the inbounds play.
And I would think their coach would say, listen, we want it to be a good shot, but let's try to get a shot up fairly quickly so
2 for
we
1.
can exactly
you can
make
get another
it 2
shot
for
at the
1.
half. Yep. Put the ball back in Newark's hands, and then they'll have a shot clock, and by the time Waterloo gets back, that they won't, and that's what Dave's speaking of. So yeah, let's see what Coach Bree is right. It looks like he's drawing something up in the timeout right now. Let's see if it works. And sometimes you draw it up, and it doesn't go so well, and sometimes they make you look better than the timeout indicated.
They didn't always call Verkey's number, did they?
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah, it was tough to manage shots in that situation.
That was just an awesome team. Well, the good pictures you're seeing are coming your way via Finger Lakes 1 and the efforts of one Jeremy Hunt. I'm Dave Barnick along with Kevon Korzeniewski and, of course, Jim Sinacropi. And we are 52 seconds away before halftime. The next webcast, I believe, is next Tuesday in Minders versus Geneva, and that should be a good one. Well, they looped it outside. Now they try to go inside. It's deflected, but caught, and we got a jump ball call.
I like the play. He had two options. They got the ball out to Lauren Deming at the top of the key, and they ran Chelsea Steinrock off. That's their best three-point shooter, off a couple screens. They looked for it at the three, and that freed open Lindsey Johnson down low. So option one was probably Steinrock, option two Johnson, and they did a good job executing that.
And what would they be checking now? The shot clock, perhaps, or who has the possession arrow, probably.
Yeah, I think there was a mistake on the possession arrow. Good job by the officials realizing that Waterloo had the last jump ball.
21-15 and 46 seconds left before halftime.
Well,
a dangerous pass, but Newark still has it. Looking inside, and boy, a very errant pass. It's really to their benefit that that thing gets stolen. Now a little better ball movement. Could have been steps there. Inside feed. Shot goes up. No. Teammate rebound. No. And Waterloo has it with 20 seconds left on the clock. They zip it down court. They want to run. They want to shoot, and they can't get it to go. But is that Steinrock?
That's Jazzy Cole, rebound.
And here's the bomb, and it's going to be an air ball. I really like what I've seen from Laura Deming, kind of having a nose for the basketball.
Yeah, Lauren's a hustler. She's a hustler. Lauren I had in PE class for 3 years in middle school, and I remember the first time Lauren stepped in my class in 6th grade, I went down and said to Mike Fryer, so you got to see the 6th grade athlete I got. And he said, I coached her mother, Sherry Barrett, who was a standout at Minders back in about 25 years ago.
And that will do it. The long shot to end the first half is no good. A 6-point deficit. Waterloo, the home team, in front of Newark at 21-15. And we will be back. Stay tuned, please. We have a special presentation at our studios in Seneca Falls.
Thanks, Dave. Jim Sinacropi back here in Seneca Falls inside the FingerLakes1.com studios, where you've been enjoying an outstanding first half of basketball featuring two of the best girls varsity basketball teams in their class in the state of New York, the Newark Reds and Waterloo Indians. We're in Seneca Falls at Minders Academy on Tuesday night for a webcast of Minders against Palmac, in which the Blue Devils exploded out the gate to start their 2012-13 season with 35 first-quarter points and continuing an onslaught of three-pointers into the second half. We put together a little montage of that, and we'll have that for you when we come back. But first, a word from our sponsors. Remember, these sponsors make these webcasts possible, so please support the following sponsors and supporters of local high school basketball. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Tonight's webcast is brought to you in part by Finger Lakes Partners Insurance. Insurance you need from people you know for your life, home, auto, and future. Sessler Wrecking. Good luck, Waterloo Indians. Market Alternatives, responding to the constant changing need of their customers in Newark and the surrounding areas. Attention Finger Lakes residents, have you been injured and deserve compensation? Call Madej, Maris, and Ricky, your hometown personal injury attorneys. Your case deserves personal attention. At Madej, Maris, and Ricky, they know you by name, not just a number on a folder. Call the Finger Lakes Personal Injury Hotline at 315-568-0911. That's 315-568-0911. Madej, Maris, and Ricky, your hometown personal injury attorneys.
The most valuable things are always passed down from generation to generation. It's true for your family, and it's true for our bank. For more than 140 years at Generations Bank, we've greeted you by name, planned with you for the future, and stood by you when you needed a hand. It's what we do, and what we'll continue to do for generations into the future. We might look different now, but in the important ways, we're exactly like we've always been. Stop in your local branch or go to mygenbank.com.
So many sights to see on the internet, but for everything local, there's no place you can get it. At fingerlakes1.com. Come on over to fingerlakes1.com. Like us your homepage. News, weather, sports, and fun. Log on to fingerlakes1.
www.fingerlakes1.com.
As I mentioned before the break, on Tuesday night, Finger Lakes sports team with Dave Barnick and Matt Verkey were in Seneca Falls inside Arthur L. Baker Gymnasium for the season opener in the FL East for the Minders Academy Blue Devils and the Pelmac Red Raiders. Minders jumped out the gate with 35 first quarter points, and much to the delight of our announcing crew. And so we'd like to show you a little montage that we prepared of all the points that Minders scored in the first half the other night in Seneca Falls. So enjoy the likes of Brandon Pascalacqua, Jimmy Rickey, Liam Caraher, Luke Ruddy and company, and we'll be back after this.
Slapped away, still outside, Pascalacqua, bang! Buries the three.
Big shot for Brandon. Nice to see him get off to a good start.
Here's a steal the other way.
I think Minders needs to settle down, get it inside. There you go.
And Connor with a nice little a la Kevin McHale jump hook. Nice bounce pass, way up and in.
Nice pass from Anderson to Ruddy on the fast break.
And looking to run again from South Seneca County. That bomb is good. Inside feed, yes! And the foul. Connor Miller. Movement. There's an open three from the wing.
Yeah. That's what they want him to do, come off the bench and hit the threes. Player of the year last year, Bryn Lauer. But once they get her back, I think they'll look to make some improvements. There's Caraher again.
And Caraher with two trifectas. And
that's a good shooting, Jim, also.
And the one-hander, a la Casey Jones. How many people remember that name?
Team alone, you got definitely a bunch of. As Anderson hits the three, you got a.
And the big guy goes for three. Called it! Ruddy from downtown. Did they call that a three or a two?
I don't think Paul Mack can score with them at that rate.
That one rims out, but the nice move, up and under move.
Tyler Solon.
They're not holding for one, and they don't need to. Rickey with a bullseye three. And another three from Minders. Guess what? So given the start and a three-pointer bullseye by Rickey. And basketball.
Yeah, he, free-sport athlete. And
ball movement. Swish! Rickey! Rickey, don't lose that number. And Pelmac.
Game for, oh no.
Oh my! Rickey, don't lose that number. Being attempted by Pelmac, turnaround jumper, nice move. Big, burly Zach Bishop. Partially deflected, the half ends. A torrid scoring array. There's going to be more three-pointers scored in this first half by Minders, then a lot of teams will get in a full month of play.
No doubt about that. Just incredible shooting. They kind of slowed down there the last half of that second quarter, but obviously you couldn't expect that pace to keep up throughout the game. But just a great half for Minders, and just the way they shot that ball, they're going to be hard to beat if they continue to shoot.
The Falls, 35 points in the first quarter. They're 8-minute quarters, folks. So, that's a lot of points in one quarter. And then as you consider the other night, Georgetown scored 37 points in a win in a 40-minute game. Well, Minders Academy Blue Devils almost matched them in the first quarter of their high school game on Tuesday night. So a reminder, Minders will be facing Geneva next Tuesday night, the December 11th, in a game that will be webcasting inside Arthur L. Baker Gymnasium. Geneva put up 91 points on on Marcus Whitman on Tuesday night, led by senior Shane Sweeney, and that should be a huge test for the Blue Devils and both teams, who are expected to finish atop the Finger Lakes East League for the boys. But for now, let's send you back to Waterloo Live for the second half of Newark and Waterloo. Dave Barnick and Kevon Korzeniewski on the call. Enjoy the second half, everybody.
He was my next door neighbors till we lost him last year.
Yeah,
that I remembered those kind of things. Waterloo trying to extend their lead. They're up by 7. Right with it. A little more patience shown here by Steinruck. He's going to drive the lane, leave for Wright. Wright pulls up 15-footer. No.
Looks like 15. Jessica Shields is really trying to get into Lauren Deming's space now in the second half, and I'm sure that was a point of emphasis for Newark, was to try and slow Lauren down. And there's Shields on the take to the baseline against Jazzy Cole.
Leading scorer for the Reds. Now, early, very early, it looked like Waterloo, we didn't know if Newark was going to be able to score much. They trailed 6-1, but then they took 11-6 lead.
And Waterloo hasn't changed much defensively. They've been in the 1-3-1 the whole game. The second quarter, they created a lot of turnovers, and they're back into it to start the half. And we'll see how Newark handles that 1-3-1 zone.
Well, making your free throw certainly helps. 2 out of 2 for Shields. Of course, as I briefly mentioned, Dwight Howard's missing so many free throws that they're thinking of changing the rule in the NBA, and they're also thinking of a major NFL rule change, which you may or may not have heard about today, Kevin.
I didn't hear about it. I've had a busy day.
Here's the bomb.
There's the three.
Tora. Bombs away on Pearl Harbor Day.
Now they gave her 2 on that one, Dave. Let's see if it was on the line. The replay is a great call by the official. Told the line.
And Deming, nice pass, laying up in it. Looking for the timeout.
Yeah, I am.
9-point lead, 26-17.
And Waterloo with a couple quick baskets to extend that lead to 9.
Today, of course,
another steal.
Another steal. Deming will take it herself, and Waterloo wants, needs, and calls the timeout.
Maybe one possession too late, Dave, that timeout, I think.
And Deming, I think that was her first bucket of the second half. 15 in the game.
She scored 2 in a row, I think. So that's add another 2. Chelsea Steinrock hit the long jump shot for 2, and then they got another steal. Lauren came down and scored 2 in a row.
And of course, today is Pearl Harbor Day.
The Pearl Harbor Day, December 7th.
You remember that well, right?
I do. Well, I was not even a glimmer.
Neither was I.
I've read a lot about it. We went to Pearl Harbor, my wife and I, on our honeymoon, and You know, it's this day should be remembered forever. You know, it was a sad day.
Or as the president at that time spoke, a day of infamy.
Yep.
So Waterloo looking really the best little 3-minute spurt of the night so far.
Yeah, defensive intensity. Besides that, they just scored 6 in a row. 2 of them were off turnovers by Newark. Waterloo going the other way, and they switched up their defense here to it looks like a 2-2-1 half court.
Newark has been hanging around, but they can ill afford to fall much farther behind. The shot is short from 15, and here's a breakaway. Lay it up and in for Steinruck. And the wheels may be coming off a little bit.
Yeah, Waterloo's
for the
quick
Reds.
to the ball. They're beating Newark to the ball. Newark looks a little dejected, maybe a little tired. Maybe a little tired from that, that lack of bench play that they have.
And Deming all over the court. Feed it to Steinruck, won't go. Deming's putback is good.
Lauren Deming's really playing great. Chelsea Steinruck's got a couple baskets here in the quarter. Lindsay started off with one, but the rest of the scoring's been all Lauren Deming.
The league opener for both teams. For Waterloo.
No, well, this is Waterloo's second league game.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's
they're
right.
3-0.
They beat Penn. Was it Penn Yan? I had it written down.
Newark beat Penn Yan, and Waterloo beat Wayne the other night. Yeah,
beat them pretty handily, 56-27, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, they're going to beat a lot of teams handily in the East. Their big thing is going to be chemistry. They have the bench support. Hopefully the girls can get along, not be selfish, and put their team goals first. And I think they'll have a heck of a year in the league.
At the foul line, Schultz stops the bleeding momentarily for Newark, and she'll have another.
Larrabee and France check in for Waterloo.
And 2 out of 2 for Schultz. A couple good NBA games. How about those New York Knicks? I'm not a fan of the Knicks, but credit where credit is due.
They won a big game against Miami, but I don't get too excited about the NBA until
they've played 50, 60 games?
Right. Not even then. I'll wait to the playoffs. But, they look good without Carmelo last night.
Waterloo playing more aggressively.
Well, they got to get the ball to Johnson down there. There you go.
And she has it. Good call with the little
jump
hook. She had a girl
on the back. That gets frustrating for a big man or a big girl when, you're down there working hard and you got a girl on your back for second after second after second. After about 5 seconds, you finally catch it, and then you kind of throw up a bad shot because I think she should have touched it a little bit earlier.
She's a little upset with herself for missing it, but I'm sure her coach will say, that's a good shot and a good move, and they will go.
Yep, there's another turnover by Newark. Sarah Tyler for Newark is checked into the game for Jessica Shields, probably trying to get her a little bit of a blow. But for the same, it's been a lot of the same Newark kids out here all night, so I don't think the coach wants to go too deep onto his bench at this point in the season for Newark.
And we certainly hope that Bryn Lauer, the standout player, comes back and it was 100% as the season gets moving on. Here's the bomb from outside, and that trifecta will count.
Steinruck really looking for a shot this quarter. She's taken 3 or 4 shots, and she's found the bottom of the net a couple times.
She is not a shy sophomore.
No, she is not shy at all. Her and her brother, both basketball players here at Waterloo, and neither one of them are shy.
Deming finds Steinruck on the break. The cutter is Johnson.
Yep.
Prettiest play of the night.
That was a great fast break by Waterloo. What you see is the ball really doesn't hit the floor. Right to Steinruck, one dribble, right to Johnson, and up and in. And as a coach, you love to see little dribbles, lots of passes, and easy layups. Great pass by Steinruck.
And the other problem that Newark is having, I think, is now they're getting caught up in that preferred tempo of Waterloo.
Yep, and the tempo is definitely a higher tempo is favoring Waterloo right now, and Newark needs to slow it down. They're down, their confidence is down, and they look a little tired.
Down to the 3-minute mark of quarter number 3 is Deming, who's just played an all-around tremendous game with a great feed. The layup won't go. Deming, weak side, keeps it alive, dishes outside. And a nice sequence, even though they didn't score, and Newark will try to answer. And bank shot.
Brandy Lauer.
Brandy Lauer.
That's a nice take by Brandy into the paint. Took it right at 2 Waterloo defenders, laid it up and off the glass for a great finish. Legal screen on Janae Larrabee.
So the lead has grown to 16 points.
Just like that.
Yes, magic.
Just like
one
that.
Jeremy Hunt. He is ready
Yeah,
for the Baltimore Blast. And let's hope they eke out a victory this weekend to help the New York Football Giants. That is the Baltimore Ravens.
The Baltimore Ravens.
He's an anti-Baltimore fan.
That's a big rivalry game down there, Baltimore and Washington. And I actually saw that Washington was favored today by a point or two, which I was very surprised.
Well, Joe
it's RG3
Flacco
fever, maybe.
and the word elite, I don't think belong together as yet.
No.
And we got a little reach-in foul.
I read a satirical newspaper called The Onion. I don't know if you're familiar with, but they had a great line today that Charlie Batch outplayed Joe Flacco, and he was so excited he outplayed an elite quarterback. And Anquan Bolden said, it's almost embarrassing to be in this huddle with Joe Flacco. So Joe Flacco's getting a lot of flack out there. Look at this.
Deming draws the foul, and that young lady, I couldn't tell when she shoots foul shots initially if she was left-handed or right-handed.
Well, she's smooth with a dribble, both hands, and she also can go to the basket in her left, but she is right-handed, and the Newark coach, he's got to be upset with the defense there on Lauren. You know, you can't leave her that open and let her get to that lane too easy. That gets frustrating, and Newark's got their heads down going to this timeout, and you can tell they really miss their leader.
And with 2:05 remaining in the third quarter, 37-21, as you see on the screen, upcoming live webcasts include next Tuesday, Geneva and Minders, and then the following Tuesday, there's supposed to be an awful lot of snow that day, I guess, December 18th. See if I get a rise out of Jim Sinacropi.
Got to drive down to the south end?
Naples versus the combined South Seneca Romulus team. And Brendan Harrington on the call of those games along. I think, are you doing one of those games, Kevin? I know Matt is doing.
I don't think I have a
next
game
week.
till after the New Year. I haven't really. I'm up on my schedule right now. I got a race. I helped put on a race in Seneca Falls tomorrow. It's a wonderful run, and we got 3,000 people coming in to run the streets of Seneca Falls. So I've been kind of occupied with that. But back to the basketball. You look at this two ways with Bryn Lauer being out with the injury. Your other players have to step up and do things that they're characteristically or traditionally not used to doing for Newark. So that's a good thing, and you like to have that early in the season. Who's going to step up? What are you capable of doing without Bryn carrying it for you? So, I'm sure the coach is going to be upset, and there will be fans in Newark and parents saying, man, if we had Bryn, it would have been a different game. But you got to you got to look at the positives in this game, and hopefully these other girls are learning more about themselves than they would as if they had their floor general out there.
And when she does return and gets back into game shape, hopefully they will have improved enough to make their team even more dangerous. They, of course, have the good recent tradition of many fine teams in in recent memory.
Newark basketball, boys and girls, top of the notch in the Finger Lakes for many, many years, with Diane Kearney and Ron Sarabola leading the way. And of course, Diane Kearney, she stepped down this year to spend some more time watching her son play. And her husband, Bill, was still on the JV sideline.
Here's the bomb for Newark.
That's great hustle
Player
by the
Brandy
freshman.
Lauer won't go. Players on the floor. 1:49 remaining in the third quarter.
Newark's got to do something to get into this lead in the next minute and a half. They don't want to be down 17 entering the fourth. They want to, you want to be realistic about it. Deming just checked out. See if you can get it to a manageable 12 or 13 before the quarter's over.
The shot, nice
freshman.
shot that time, and was that?
That was Kenna Lauer with the
Kenna
baseline
Lauer.
jump shot.
Any more Lauers coming up that you know of?
I think Kenna's the youngest. There was Jay was telling me he has 4 girls, and one's graduated, and the 2 twins are seniors, and Kenna, I believe, is the youngest.
Here's a
There's
nice
a steal
by Newark. Waterloo hustling to get back, and Deming will get called on the foul. The basket is good. And for one of the few times tonight.
That's a great finish here if you watch. That's a great call by the official on and one, and that's a 4-point swing. She makes this foul shot. That's a 5-point swing since Deming's checked out. And you want to take out Deming and get her a rest, but at the same time, the other girl's got to take care of the ball and get the job done while she's out.
And the 3-point play converted by Shields. And that puts her into double figures.
She's playing a good game. Let's see what Waterloo does without Deming and Johnson in the game.
Nice time for it late in the third quarter. Can extend the...
That's another moving screen on Janae Larrabee. She's got to keep those feet set. And here he comes with some subs back in. He said too many possessions without anything good, and he's doing a wholesale subs.
I think the largest lead, if I'm not mistaken, was up to 17.
It was 17. They're on a 5-0 run here, and Coach Bree has seen enough. He's got the starters back in. You know, that second team in there, they're capable. I've seen them, Dave. They can do it, but they just gotta take care of it when they go in.
Quite a quartet, as we have a Deming steal, but couldn't maintain possession during halftime. And they, of course, referenced you up here, Kevin. That would be Joe Spizzato and company down on the sideline.
Yeah, the good old boys club down there.
Yep.
So
do they get together during the week and do scratch-offs too, or?
Well, you know, Joe retired, but he's in the building more now as a retiree than he was when he was getting paid by the district. So we haven't figured that out here in Waterloo. He's back on the sideline helping Jeff Panic out, and I saw the referee Brett Harrison last week, and he said, "Kevin, I got to go do a boys basketball at Waterloo Gym." Head coach Jeff Panic, assistant coach Joe Spizzato, and the JV coach is Mike Ferrara. Will you meet me there with some earplugs? 3 guys known to get into the officials a little bit.
Yes. Joe was a lot of fun, and Deming shot. No, and Matt Verkey and I were talking the other night. Your exceptional state championship run, people forget just how good that Waterloo team was that year.
Oh, Waterloo had a great team that year. You know, they had a great senior class, and they had Pat Patchen as a junior, and they lost to us, and they lost to Palmac. And
in the sectional finals.
They didn't lose too many. Yeah, Palmac beat them, and then Palmac went on and lost in the state finals. So, you know, Joe will tell you, they had a lot of good teams lose to a few other good teams.
We're down to 30 seconds left in the quarter. Waterloo with a 12-point lead. Yeah, Steinruck wanted to shoot before she even got her hands on the ball. And there's a nice inside feed and 10-foot jumper by Johnson.
That ends the run a little bit for Waterloo. Getting that basket, it's a nice momentum going into the
And here's
fourth.
Lauer's shot, rims out, no good. If Waterloo hustles, they got 5 seconds left. Got to get it up court quickly. Deming will fire it. What a nice pass inside, but one too many passes. Still, the unselfishness, a good thing. And we'll be back with the 4th and final quarter from Waterloo after this.
Attention Finger Lakes residents, have you been injured and deserve compensation? Call Madej, Maris, and Ricky, your hometown personal injury attorneys. Your case deserves personal attention. At Madej, Maris, and Ricky, they know you by name, not just a number on a folder. Call the Finger Lakes Personal Injury Hotline at 315-568-0911. That's 315-568-0911. Madej, Maris, and Ricky, your hometown personal injury attorneys.
The most valuable things are always passed down from generation to generation. It's true for your family, and it's true for our bank. For more than 140 years at Generations Bank, we've greeted you by name, planned with you for the future, and stood by you when you needed a hand. It's what we do, and what we'll continue to do for generations into the future. We might look different now, but in the important ways, we're exactly like we've always been. Stop in your local branch or go to mygenbank.com.
Tonight's webcast is brought to you in part by Finger Lakes Partners Insurance. Insurance you need from people you know for your life, home, auto, and future. Sessler Wrecking. Good luck, Waterloo Indians. Market Alternatives, responding to the constant changing need of their customers in Newark and the surrounding areas.
1 quarter of basketball remaining in the 3rd quarter, a good one as we have a collision between actually probably 2 of the leaders from each team, Brandy Lauer of Newark and Laura Deming. 14-point lead, Waterloo in front. They had a 6-point lead at the half, and they've more than doubled that, going up by 14, as many as 17.
Yeah, they caught a 5-0 run, Newark did, when Coach subbed out some of the starters. And if it wasn't for that, it would still be even more of a significant lead. And I do got to mention the referees, I think, are doing a great job tonight. Tommy Marino from Seneca Falls seemed to have a great hold of the game tonight.
2 out of 2 for Brandy. There was a song there, Brandy. You remember that? Well, it might even be before your time.
You might be
of course.
dating yourself, Dave.
Don't remember the artist?
Yeah, I remember the artist Brandy, I do. But the song, I'm not sure.
Inside. And is that?
Jazzy Cole.
Yes. I wasn't sure at first until I saw her number, if that was her or Steinruck.
I'm very impressed with Haley Wright tonight. She, she's not one of the girls' names you hear consistently over and over again with this basketball team, but she seems to be in the right place at the right time a lot, rebounding, getting good assists here and there. She's playing a good all-around game.
Heading to Edinburgh and heading down court after another steal. Laura Deming, she's going to take it in. And did they take it away from her? They call the offensive? I'll tell you, I've been really impressed with her tonight. Scoring, rebound, going to the weak side. Things a lot of players don't do.
She's got a head for it, doesn't she?
Yes.
She just does those little things. You see her, she's involved in every play. It's almost like calling one of those linebackers in an NFL game, the London Fletchers that just seem to have the mix and everything. She's doing a great job of that.
Did I say Laura? It's 40-28. And that's kind of a big possession. We're in the critical stages.
This is real important for Newark. Down 12 with 6.5 to go. The next couple minutes are key. You want to break into that. You don't want a 12-minute deficit with 4 minutes left in the quarter.
The bomb, Steinrock won't go. Rebound, Johnson, nobody draws the foul. Great rebounding position.
Lenny Johnson, she reminds me a little bit of Charles Barkley. She's gritty down there. You know, she's got her elbows up at all times. She's a fighter. She's a fighter, and she's not going to take anything from anybody. She's doing a good job on the boards.
These two teams last met here February 3rd of this past season, and Newark escaped with a 3-point victory, 52-49, after beating the Tribe by 14 in Newark last December 23rd. And
Waterloo still in the 1-3-1.
And Newark needs to make something happening, trailing by a baker's dozen. And 3-second violation. First one of those tonight.
And Courtney Schultz come out of the game. She looks a little tired. She's been playing a lot of minutes tonight.
Yeah, they've don't have the depth, obviously, that.
Lauren Allen checks back in for her, and Sarah Tyler is also on the floor along with the other starters.
Long looping pass over.
Newark working the 2-3 zone. Great ball fake, entry pass, and an easy bucket for Lindsey Johnson.
Just like they drew it up.
That's a good 1-2 punch
on the chalkboard. Excellent.
Deming to Johnson. You'll say that a lot this year.
And the lead back to 15. And a reach-in foul. I think they got Haley on that one.
That's Haley right on the foul.
Jeremy Hunt doing the fine camera work for Jim Sinacropi at Finger Lakes 1. I'm Dave Barnick along with Kevon Korzeniewski here in Waterloo, New York.
We got Ange Davis checking in the game. It looks like a timeout here by Waterloo.
With 5:46 remaining. Got the Christmas shopping under control, Kevin?
You know, that's another thing. It goes by the wayside with this race that we put on. Dave, my wife says we lose out on Christmas time. But the race is important to us, and no, we got a lot of Christmas shopping left to do. How about yourself?
I got just starting to get into panic mode for it, but we'll get it done. And I hope everybody has a joyous Christmas, and I hope it's just as mild as it was last year.
I think head coach Justin Fladd's biggest Christmas wish will be when is he going to get Bryn Lauer back?
Yeah.
Might be a little bit after the holidays, but.
Because he can have his team work hard defensively, try to take care of the ball, but he really doesn't have a go-to girl offensively without her. It's pretty obvious.
They don't have a standout scorer right now, and I think the kids are playing good that he's got in there. I'm really impressed with Kenna Lauer tonight. She's playing against this team that's been together for a while. There's a lot of height up there, and she's trying to break that 1-3-1. She's doing a good job of it. But you can tell they're just lacking that one offensive leader. And if, obviously if Bryn's in the game, this is probably a little bit closer of an affair right now. So we hope to see her back in action as soon as possible.
And neither team has great size, but Newark particularly smaller than the Waterloo squad. And again, I think back to some of the superior teams I've seen over the years that had that inside presence.
Yeah.
Although Deming, maybe a little Louis Orr situation
There you
with
go.
her.
You know, 6'1", she's a 6'1" point guard. You know, Lindsey Johnson's
She's
5'11".
6'1"?
She's 6'1".
Wow.
So don't be deceived. Because her and Lindsey are so big, Haley Wright's a tall girl too. There is some size out there, but I think it's kind of deceiving because Newark's got a couple big kids, and Waterloo is pretty tall all the way around. Not anybody that's 6'3", which is a tall girls player, but a lot of 5'10" kids and over.
Haley's shot off the back iron for 3 won't go, and we got a jump ball called.
Jump ball, Waterloo
Possession,
ball.
Waterloo underneath their own basket, leading by 13 with 5:21 remaining. I'd like to thank all our fine sponsors for helping to bring you this game and our entire composite schedule. Deming off the loose ball, doesn't get it.
Patting
Gets
the
it
rebound
back.
instead.
Yep. Yeah, and up and in. She's got unofficially 22 points.
Yeah, she's having a great game. Ange Davis just checked in for Waterloo. She's a specialty three-point shooter. She's knocked down a couple this year already.
And I think Haley's going to get called on that one. Aggressive play, stepping up to try to take the charge, but was moving.
That's Haley's 4th foul, so let's see what Coach does with that. At this point, he's got a 15-point lead. He probably decided to leave her in and see if he can extend that lead a little bit.
I was wondering if the 3 girls up there could get the wave started.
Yeah, you know, I'm just glad they're not in trouble and they're still awake.
You're going to be dragging before they are.
I just hope nobody calls accounting. That's my babysitting techniques.
1 out of 2 at the line for Newark. Lead at 14. Comfortable lead at this point.
Newark's in a
Waterloo.
2-3 zone, Dave, which with a down 14, I think he's trying to hope and force them into some couple deep shots and misses, but they're going to have to pick up their intensity and maybe switch to something else sooner than later.
Deming takes it to the hole with a left hand and lays it in.
And knife into a 2-3 zone like that doesn't make any coach happy. But it was a great take by Lauren. Again, really strong with her left hand. And that takes it to 16, and that might have been the dagger, Dave.
Well, of course, Newark led 6-1, but Waterloo went on a.
Waterloo was up 6-1.
Or excuse me.
Yep.
And then. And we got some. The officials getting a little help.
You got the fans upset there on that call. Can you get a replay?
Wow, you're leading by 16 points. At any rate, Newark will have the basketball. 4.5 remaining.
Waterloo back in their 1-3-1. And there's another steal, gets it up. Might have been a good foul. It's probably going to be an easy layup on Waterloo.
In the NBA, they would have maybe called that the clear path foul.
Waterloo is not in the bonus.
I'm going to give you a vote tonight for the Heisman.
The Heisman vote. You know, it's been a down year in college football. I'd like to see the kid from Kansas State win it.
Well,
Brian Nassen from Syracuse. Let's write him in. He had a great year.
Well, it's
So deep 3.
Long 3 is short.
I don't know if that's what Coach wants with a 16-point lead, with 4 minutes to go in the quarter, is a 3-point shot that early in the shot clock.
Here's the bomb from Lauer, won't go.
And a
And
rebound for Johnson.
Johnson wants to bring it up herself. The teammate Deming. Deming looks, moves it in, short.
I like how Lindsay grabbed the rebound and pushed it herself. You know, that creates another nightmare for another team. She grabbed the ball, she turned around, she made a good job, good pass to Lauren. Didn't get the layup, but it was a good fast break.
So we got a timeout. 3:46 remaining. 47-31. Waterloo in control of this game. We thought that might happen, but the way the things started tonight, we weren't quite as sure. And then good start in the second half for Waterloo to kind of take control, I think, convincingly.
Right, the defensive intensity was certainly there for Waterloo. Newark looks a little run down and ragged this half, and I think they've only played 6 deep. There's only 10 on the bench. Obviously, you know, we keep harping on it a little bit, but Bryn Lauer would make a big difference. But Waterloo's done a great job. You can't control who's not here. Their defensive intensity's been there, led by Lauren Deming all night. Lindsey Johnson cleans up anything that she misses. And they're getting great role playing from Haley Wright and Jazzy Cole, Chelsea France, Angie Davis off the bench. And Whitney Conkey came in there and did a good job for Lindsay as well.
Now, the Newark JVs did win tonight, 35-29 in a closely contested preliminary contest. So who are your...
And that's Ben Ramo from Newark down there coaching our girls team, Dave. He was the boys varsity coach in Waterloo the last 2 seasons, and he stepped down as the boys coach, which opened up the job for Jeff Panic, and Ben's now on the girls sideline coaching, and he is a Newark grad, if you remember correctly. He was a standout at Newark probably about 15 years ago, maybe 17 for Newark. Played for Ron Sarabola.
Many teams, many great teams for many years. Here's the nice shot, and that's a three-pointer, and we will credit Lauren Allen with the basket. She's the, excuse me, no, Shields is the leading scorer, but Allen on that three.
And Newark's back in the 2-3 zone, down 13.
Deming looks for the pass first, and that's saying a lot for someone with over 20 points on the night. And look at that feed to her teammate Johnson with a nice move inside. Got great position.
Great possession for Waterloo. A couple reversals, little dribble penetration, get it inside of the big guy for easy shot. And on the other end, you missed it on TV, but Newark had a turnover, and it's Waterloo's ball with a 15-point lead with 3 minutes to go. And this is the time, back when I was playing basketball a little bit, I'd start to get a little excited. I might get in the game.
That's not true.
Well, when I was younger, it was. I got a little better as I got older, but it's a good time for the bench to get excited.
Well, we had a nice turnaround again. Johnson.
A lot of weapons, Dave. A lot of weapons. If it's not Deming, it's Johnson. And Waterloo's going to be a tough out this year.
A 17-point lead, equaling their largest lead of the night. And missed Newark shot, but good hustle.
That's Haley just fouled out of the game. I thought Haley played a great game. You know, you're not going to see her name in the box score every night as the leading scorer. You know, you're going to see a lot of Johnson and Deming, but, you know, you got to have players like Haley Wright on your team to win championships. And I give her a lot of credit for all the little things she does.
So, Brandy Lauer, of course, twin sister of Bryn. Bryn and Brandy, I wonder how many times, if the Parents 529 program consisted of them putting $1 in each of their accounts every time they said the wrong name that they intended to.
Hey,
they'd have it made.
They would. College would be paid for, right? Who needs an athletic scholarship? Looks like Janae Larrabee's into the game for Haley Wright, who just fouled out, and Brandy Lauer to the line.
And Haley taking her talents to the Mistake on the Lake, Erie, Pennsylvania.
The Mistake on the Lake.
Yeah.
I've never heard that one before, Dave.
Really?
No.
Well, you learned something tonight.
I learned a couple things. I also learned that volleyball was invented in Holyoke, Massachusetts.
William Morgan.
I
think it was 1894. Foul shot made by
there's Waterloo
Lauer
running.
And getting fouled the other way was Johnson, and she'll go to the line for 2, and her point totals have come up big in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, Lindsay's she's been the star of the quarter. She's getting a lot of touches on the block, and she's helping putting Waterloo help Waterloo putting Newark away right now.
How's your buddy General Grant doing?
Oh, Billy is the co-owner of the Brittany Fox, and
I got all the data from one Jeremy Hunt.
I am the modified basketball coach, and I just lost to Billy's nephew, who was on the Minders modified team. We lost in a great 44-40 overtime game today.
It was overtime
over in Lafayette, and it got Jim a little nervous that I wasn't going to be here.
Oh, what a nice move by
Lauer.
Yes, very nice by the freshman Kenna.
So I'll let Billy Grant know that you're rooting against us in fantasy, but you said hello. And
well, I don't know if I'm rooting against so much as it was a lock. What do Mike and Mike say in the morning? The cold
stone cold lead
lock.
pipe lock.
Yeah. Although Greeny doesn't, his picks are notoriously
terrible.
bad.
Yeah, if you're a betting man, you might want to bet against everything that he says.
I think the Texas A&M freshman's going to win that.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I think he is, and I don't think it's a stellar year for anybody really in the Heisman, but I think you're right. But I like that Kansas State player.
I don't watch a great deal of college football. It's 51-37 here, a high school basketball game in Waterloo. Newark trailing Waterloo by 14. But that Georgia-Alabama game was pretty intense last week, and what a heartbreaking way to lose it for Georgia. And
poor clock management at the end.
Why didn't spike the ball and get at least 2 plays into the end zone as needed?
Well, we got some subs here for Newark. What do we got? We got number 22, Sarah Sharp. I think that's her first time into the game. Number 20, J.C. Howard is checked in. It looks like a lot of subs. How about 23? Mackenzie Sarens.
Mackenzie Sarens.
Let's see what some of these kids that haven't had the opportunity tonight can do. And Carly Henkel's in. And Waterloo still has a few starters in there. 3 starters in for Waterloo with Deming, Steinrock, and Johnson. The trifecta still in for Waterloo.
Whoa! I think that looked worse than intended, but a big size differential there is scramble for the ball, and Johnson
just did a little bit too hard on that. But I think a clean play by Lindsay.
Under 2 to play, 51-37.
14 to go, or a 14-point lead with 2 to go. This one's obviously in Waterloo's hands, and Coach Justin Flatt emptied his bench to get some kids some playing time. Let's see when Coach Breed does the same thing. I think the fact that maybe he hasn't beaten Newark in the past couple years is a little bit slower to get to the kids into the bench, but I'm sure he's going to do that anytime now.
Yeah, hopefully it's that nice little succession where each of the main players kind of come out individually or 1 or 2 at a time to get the round of applause from the crowd on hand.
Yeah, here comes an Amanda Webb and Whitney Conkey back into the game. Both have seen minutes already tonight. And for Chelsea and Lindsey Johnson, who had great games. And Lindsay's a tough kid. I know that. I can personally say that. She is one tough kid. She is going to be a nice player the next 2 years for Waterloo.
1 out of 2 at the line for J.C. Howard of Newark, and it's 51-38. And Deming still in the game. She really does it all. Inside, outside, controlling the ball, rebounding, shooting.
I'd like to see her with her back to the basket a little bit. We didn't see any of that tonight. She obviously got some points in the paint, but maybe draw something up for her, put her down there with a high-low with Lindsey Johnson. We'll see how that develops throughout the year.
Yeah, a little bit surprising. We're not seeing some wholesale substitutions. Although 13, he may also be thinking, hey, listen, a 3 and a steal and another basket.
And we got a game. And as a coach, you don't want to put kids in, then have to take them right back out if it gets bad. So I'm sure those thoughts are going through his mind right now.
It's always easy to say, oh, this one's over, but until it's over. There's an air ball shot up, and Newark will bring it up over the timeline, well over the center court stripe anyway, with a minute remaining.
Waterloo in the man-to-man for the first time tonight.
And cross-court pass, anticipating it was Waterloo, but then they throw it away. Button, who's got the button? Johnny Most used to say that. Do you know who he was?
Johnny Most. Name sounds familiar, but you're going to have to refresh
my memory. He was the raspy, gravelly voiced, very biased, and I loved every minute of it, voice of the Boston Celtics, Radio 103 Boston WBZ. Deming will fire a 3. Doesn't get it. That's about all that hasn't went. But the rebound up and in.
Chelsea France.
By France.
Chelsea France, sophomore. Yeah, missed by her. There is Chelsea getting the rebound. Yeah, like I said, they have some talent on the bench here at Waterloo as well. They can play 9 or 10 deep.
Shot no good, and this one's just about history. So Waterloo will continue their unbeaten streak and
get over the hump.
The loss streak to Newark with a 53-38 victory.
You could see the excitement in the Waterloo girls' faces that they finally got over that Newark hump. and you could see the frustration in Newark. You got some tears on their side. But they played great. You know, they were undermanned tonight. There was no doubt about Waterloo had a little bit more talent out there tonight.
And
but the Newark kids were gritty and played very hard.
We'll take a break and assess this one and wrap it up and be right back.
Tonight's webcast is brought to you in part by Finger Lakes Partners Insurance. Insurance you need from people you know for your life, home, auto, and future. Sessler Wrecking. Good luck, Waterloo Indians. Market Alternatives, responding to the constant changing need of their customers in Newark and the surrounding areas.
Attention Finger Lakes residents, have you been injured and deserve compensation? Call Madej, Maris, and Ricky, your hometown personal injury attorneys. Your case deserves personal attention. At Madej, Maris, and Ricky, they know you by name, not just a number on a folder. Call the Finger Lakes Personal Injury Hotline at 315-568-0911. That's 315-568-0911. Madej, Maris, and Ricky, your hometown personal injury attorneys.
The most valuable things are always passed down from generation to generation. It's true for your family, and it's true for our bank. For more than 140 years at Generations Bank, we've greeted you by name, planned with you for the future, and stood by you when you needed a hand. It's what we do, and what we'll continue to do for generations into the future. We might look different now, but in the important ways, we're exactly like we've always been. Stop in your local branch or go to mygenbank.com.
Sights to see on the internet, but for everything local, there's no place you can get it. At fingerlakes1.com. Come on over to fingerlakes1.com. Like us your homepage. News, weather, sports, and fun. Log on to Finger Lakes One.
www.fingerlakes1.com.
Well, the final score from Waterloo is some of the fans hanging around to see their friends who just played, or their children or grandchildren, congratulating Waterloo. A 53-38 victory over Newark. A nice early season victory for Waterloo. And Kevin, kind of sloppy in that first half. Waterloo began to take over midway in the second quarter, I thought, and really controlled the entire second half.
Yeah, and I really think for Waterloo tonight, it started on the defensive end. Their intensity picked up, and they got a lot of easy baskets in transition, and there's nothing wrong with your defense being your best offense at times.
And that's, you talk to coaches at any level, and that's usually where it starts. And a turnover here, the tenacious defense. Newark has to play pretty flawless basketball and very good defense to stay in games against the better teams in the Finger Lakes East this year, at least until Bryn Lauer returns.
Yeah, and you can tell they do that. They're gritty, they're athletic, they played pretty good defense. I mean, the whole Waterloo 53 points at home is a good defensive night, especially when you saw all the points off turnovers for Waterloo. So in a half-court set, great job to the Newark girls. However, too many turnovers, and that led to too many easy baskets for Waterloo.
Well, Kevin, as I told Matt, a little different scenario from watching you guys run on the court some 20 years ago, and what a pleasure it has been to see you. And I will also tell you the invitation that I could not make because I was going on a little vacation at the time, when I saw you at the golf course to the function. And that meant a great deal to me. I appreciated that very much. But it's been a pleasure working with you here tonight. I've enjoyed it.
As well as it has been for me, too. You know, growing up in Seneca Falls and listening to you call our games was an absolute blast. And to hear your name called on the radio, we'd go home and listen to them. My parents still have the tapes of those, although I don't know how many tape players we have. We do have those, and so it was a great enjoyment and a pleasure to me be on the same side with you tonight. So.
Well, thank you, Kevin, and continued success, most definitely with your family, of course, and your children, but more immediately tomorrow with the 5K race. Is it a 5K race?
It's a 5K race. It's a wonderful
And you're
run.
expecting 3,000 participants?
3,000 participants.
And that will be that'll be available. It's going to be taped and then put on the website by one James Sinacropi, of course.
Jim does a great job with the race. He has since we've started. He does our website. He does, we send him emails at all times of the day and night, and he's always quick to respond to all the requests. He also does video on the race as well, and our runners really enjoy that. And we've been in Runner's World magazine. MTV's filmed their show a show made down at the race. And Jim, I'm not sure if you know this yet, but Big Brother will be there tomorrow. Or I'm sorry, The Biggest Loser will be there tomorrow, a contestant from Rochester.
Kidding.
So we haven't really talked about it because of the MTV. That would create a lot of buzz, but last time. So, yeah, there was a Big Brother contestant going to be, or not, sorry, I keep saying Big Brother, but the Biggest Loser contestant, a girl from Rochester, will be running tomorrow night. So there'll be a van there and a camera, and they're not going to try and get too many runners other than the one that they're focusing on. So it's more exposure for our race, and in the past 3 years, we've really are surprised in the growth we've had. So it'll be a busy day for me tomorrow.
And, of course, it all starts with Jim, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to help out a little bit and to have been asked to do that. I'll be back next year, which isn't that far away for a couple games, but next week join Matt Verkey along with Brendan Harrington for the fine call of the Geneva at Minders boys game.
That should be a great game. If you can't get down to Arthur L. Baker, you got to tune that one in. That should be a very good game. I'm interested to see how Minders did tonight against Wayne. Both teams could be undefeated for a early league contest for the first place.
And double figures by Johnson and Deming. Deming with at least 24 points unofficially by my count, but a good team effort for Waterloo. And a nice win as they continue unbeaten. Want to thank Jeremy Hunt, as always, for the outstanding camera work. And you can catch this, of course, on Finger Lakes 1 many times in the future as you wish. So we will wrap things up here. Again, the final score, Waterloo 53, Newark 38. Speaking for Jim Sinacropi, Jeremy Hunt, and Kevon Korzeniewski, I'm Dave Barnick, and may the force be with you.